back to Studio 39, aka the Bear Cave. I'm Rob Odie, and this is Spotlight 39. Coming to you live like we do pretty much every Monday through Thursday at or around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Look, I got a lot going on. These student athletes got a lot going on. So sometimes, it might be a little later. Sometimes I might miss out. But nonetheless, we are here. I got a super special guest. We got a great story to share. So make sure you hit the subscribe button if you aren't already. Give this video a thumbs up so YouTube's algorithm will continue to push this thing, right? And make sure you show my man some love when he comes up on the screen. That's what it's all about. All right. So one more thing, I got to plug the Darius Minor Foundation like I do every single time. Website dm39.org. But this one right here, if you see it on the screen, it's a PlayStation 5 raffle. I've been trying to blast it out all over the social medias, but make sure you check it out. The raffle is up. You can literally buy a raffle ticket for as low as $1, right? 10 raffle tickets cost you $10 and you get a PlayStation 5, and all the funds go to the foundation so we can continue to raise awareness for heart disease within student athletes. So all that stuff out the way, man. Let's get into the fun, man. Let's bring him in. Let's see what he's got. Who is he, right? There he is. What's going on, my man? How are you?
Pretty good. How about you?
Man, I can't complain. Look, it's a lovely night. It's Wednesday, right? Midweek. So let's go ahead and formally introduce yourself. Go ahead and tell the people who you are, where you're from, position you play, graduating class, all that good stuff. And we're gonna have some good
Yeah,
conversation, man.
I'm Jack Luttrell, aka White Lightning. I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia, right outside of Atlanta. I'm class of 2023 and committed to Tennessee as a safety.
Committed to Tennessee as a safety. All right. Look, man. That was already one question that I was gonna bring up because I see on the profile this is wide receiver, slash safety. So I was curious on what
Yeah,
what
I
their
do it
plans
all.
were for you. So good
Yeah,
deal, man.
they
Go
like
ahead.
me at safety for sure.
Okay, okay. Yeah, we'll get into that here in just a minute, man. But let's kind of rewind the clock first, right? Let's take it back to this off season. I'm sure you had a busy off season. So walk me through what all you were involved with. 7-on-sevens, combines, camps, whatever it was that you did to help perfect your craft, man. Talk to us about what that off season looked like.
Yeah, so as soon as off season ended, it was a strict like 1 week break before I get into anything else because it's a long season and a lot of injuries and a lot of
Sure.
healing that needs to happen. So as soon as the season was done, I took a week off and just rest my body, caught up on all my schoolwork, all that good stuff. And then as soon as that week was over, um, I started up basketball season.
Okay.
And then while doing basketball, as soon as basketball season ended, I started up soccer. Um, and then during soccer season is when I joined the Grind Factory 7-on-7 team.
Okay.
And
Grind Factor from the A, right? I had them on the show.
yes,
I had,
sir.
I had about four or
Yes,
five of
sir.
those dudes on there.
Yeah. So I started playing for Grind Factory, and then that was the first time I ever played 7-on-7, because that was my sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
I had no looks or offers or anything before that. I kind of started just like showing out in 7-on-7. Got called up to the national team, which was the Say Less. So I
Okay.
started playing with the Say Less team, and from there I just competed in all the tournaments. Kind of caught the looks from a lot of people, and then as soon as the 7-on-7 season ended, was when I first started getting offers. And then as soon as summer rolled around, it was camp after camp. I
Did you
actually
go on
went on
tour like a lot
tour.
of dudes?
Oh yeah, I went with the whole Nashville Say Less team. We all got on a bus and we went from Georgia all the way out to Texas, and basically stopped in every state from Georgia to Texas
That's
within
crazy.
a span of 14 days. So it was do a camp, get on the bus, drive, sleep on the ride, and then get in the morning, get up in the morning, and then do another camp.
That's crazy, man.
And
So
if we were lucky, we'd get two in one day.
wow, wow, man. So that might top the cake, man. I've had a lot of dudes on here that's been on tour, right? I think, one dude went to like 12 camps or something. But look, were you even checking in hotels or were you just sleeping on the bus?
Oh, I think within the span of like 14 days, we maybe stayed in two hotels. And so it was, it was a rough 14 days, but it was definitely worth it.
Okay.
Um, it
So,
was
so
just like,
yeah. So walk me through, you say it was worth it. Walk me through, kind of what your camp season looked like. You said you went on tour, it was a little hard, right? Sleeping conditions was rough, but man, well worth it. What was worth it about it, man? What exposure, what looks, what conversations, what came from it?
Yeah, so I'd say the main thing, just being around like the guys I was around, because you're on a bus with like 22 kids, and all 22 kids are gonna go to Power Five schools. Like that's you're on the bus with all those kids, and you're just sitting there thinking like, this is the future of football. Like you're gonna see all these guys on TV one day. So that was pretty cool, just being around them, like the mindset of every kid. We kind of just instantly clicked. We all got along, so that was fun. And then going from college to college, like never have took visits before. This was the summer of my sophomore year. Like I'd never seen any college. I've only been in one college stadium before, and it was Georgia's. So I got to see a lot of different college stadiums. Got to talk to a lot of different coaches. Got to tour a lot of schools, which was great to like see with my own eyes. And I say that was definitely the best part about doing all the tours. Just like finally being able to be on campus, see what the schools actually have to offer, and then being able to talk to the coaches face to face.
Yeah, man. So I would say that was worth it, right? 14 days
Oh yeah, it was
sacrifice. You
definitely
want to
worth
look at
it.
the bigger picture. So job well done there, man. So if you think about all that hard work, that dedication, because there was a lot of it between, you know, multiple sports after football ended. You said basketball, then soccer, then you go on tour for camps, right? And then you had the 7-on-7 mixed in there too. So you really didn't quit, right? I mean, you were pretty much just at it, minus that 1 week off that you gave yourself at the end of the season. So, all that hard work and dedication, how is that reflecting to the field this year? What is your season looking like? What are you seeing different in your game? Have you recognized something that you already, want to kind of tweak and mess around with, this coming off season?
Oh yeah, I mean, going into this season, I knew it would definitely be different because going from the end of last season to this season, like I knew that I'd seen probably every receiver that I had to guard and every DB that tried to guard me was a Power Five dude. And when you're used to that, like every single rep getting better from going against each other, when you're used to that and then you go back and play at your hometown team, it's like these guys are actually pretty slow. Like these guys aren't like the ones I trained with
Right.
before. So that was definitely one of the things I noticed at first, just because the game seemed really slow when I first got back into it.
Sure.
And then it was good on defense because I was able to see a lot more. It was like I could make a lot more plays because I was playing faster than everybody else. So that was great. And then just like on the physicality side, I'm tougher than a lot of kids on the football field, and
Okay.
I think that helps a lot.
All right. So definitely paying dividends to the hard work that you put in, man. So that's awesome to hear. And then let's talk about the classroom real quick, right? I'm going to assume if you're committed that the grades are where they need to be, but you tell me, how's the grades looking?
I have a 3.7 GPA.
Okay,
I take college course classes with dual enrollment at our school, so
okay,
I'm already getting college credits. And then I say my favorite subject is probably math.
okay,
Before I committed to Tennessee, I knew that I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, and math is a big part of that.
okay.
So on the school side of all of it, I think I think I'm pretty straight with I'm straight with all that.
So we got the academics, we got the talent, right? And then
Yes,
you
sir.
mix all that together, and that brings the recruiting process. So class of 23, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, sir.
So you still got a whole another year to come back, do this, get bigger, stronger, faster, go on tour yet again if that's what you choose to do. Probably not so much this year, being you've already found your home. But obviously, just being a young man, you're going to by default get bigger, stronger, faster as you continue to grow. So, let's talk about the recruiting process. What was the breaking point? You said before 707, you had no looks, no offers. Really, nobody knew who you were in a sense. You go bang out with the Grind Factory, get called up to Say Less national team, and then go on tour. And now, you're a commit to Tennessee. So walk us through what was the beginning? How did it start? When was the first? Who was the first program that said, "Hey, we like what we see. We want you to be a part of what we got." And then what led you to Tennessee?
Yeah, so I'd say the whole recruitment process definitely started as soon as 7-on-7 kicked off. Um, I remember I was actually in our living room, and I had to beg my mom and dad to let me do 7-on-7 because
Okay.
I remember the year before, I'd see all these kids getting offers, and I knew that playing college football was my dream. And that everybody who I talked to told me like, this is what you have to do to play college football, get college football scholarships.
Okay.
So sitting in the living room begging my mom and dad to let me go play 7-on-7, and they signed me up for the Grind Factory tryouts. I go there, um, being being the white kid playing receiver. The best DB was like, oh, I'll guard him. Like this will be an easy day because we're just doing like one-on-ones, all that. Um, First play, I go up on his head, make a play. Second play, I do it again. I just burn him, and then third play, I actually go to DB and he goes to receiver, and I lock him up, get a pick six, and I was like, yeah, I'm a safety actually. So that's how the whole recruitment process kind of started right at that point because coaches realized like, oh, this kid can ball.
Okay.
Like he can definitely ball for sure.
So we got a
So
little talent, right, coming out the 7-on-7.
oh yeah, and so Coastal Carolina was the first school that showed interest in me, which I was ready to commit and go there. Like as soon as I felt that interest, the coaches talking to me, I was like, oh, this is the place I want to be, nowhere else.
Oh, send me to the
And
dude,
then
right?
yeah, yes sir. And then as soon as the 7-on-7 that whole season goes by, a lot of other schools like Arkansas was my first offer, and then Notre Dame, which was my big offer, as my second offer. Like all these schools started offering me and building these relationships. And just one thing I noticed through all these was that everybody has the big facilities, everybody has good coaches, everybody has cool uniforms, and everybody has a lot of fans. So one thing you gotta like separate from what's different from place to place is how they treat you and how they treat your family.
That's look.
And
I'm gonna
then I
pause you
think,
right there. Let me pause you right there because what you just said is incredibly important. Because you can look at Twitter, you can look at social media, and you'll see these guys, that are stacking offers, which is cool, right? I mean, you got a lot of talent, you deserve it, right? By all means, grab the offers and make it known. But you know, some of these dudes are more, concerned about uniforms, right? And what do y'all call it, drip or swag or whatever the term is these days for kids.
yeah,
I'm old, but that isn't the case, man. And you just hit you just hit it spot on with what you just said. So I wanted to stop you there because that was super important. It's more than just the look and the feel of the program, right? Because everybody's got good coaches, they got good fans, they got nice facilities, right? Unless yeah, I mean, you can go to a D2 or D3 program and have nice facilities and all the above, right? But you need to find the right fit for you, the right fit for your academic career thereafter football, and then obviously for your family. So that was awesome, man. I appreciate you mentioning that because that's super important. I'll let you
yes
go
sir.
ahead and continue, man.
Yeah, so like I was saying, trying to figure out like what actually separates each school from itself. I noticed like right off the bat that Tennessee, they definitely stood out. It was Tennessee and Texas A&M that stood out to me. Um, it was Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Notre Dame. I would say when like after summer they were, or before summer, like beginning of summer, they were my top three. Like
Okay.
that's I was set on one of those three, and what separated each of them was just how they treated me. Like calling me every week, making sure I was doing good in the classroom, checking up on me, asking how my family was doing. I come from a family of 5 kids, so that's like family is important to
So
me.
you're very laid back, humble, family oriented, right?
Oh yeah, we're everybody in our family is an athlete. Like
That's awesome.
we all got it. We all got busy schedules, and it's always good to feel cared for by these guys that you see on TV. And so that's definitely separated those three schools. And then just as summer went on, I started really noticing Texas A&M and Tennessee were like those were my two. And then I took a visit at Texas A&M while I was on the tour that summer, and then as soon as the tour finished, I took a I worked out at Georgia, and then I took a visit to Tennessee, and just going from Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee. It was like Tennessee has the exact like better complexes. Like these coaches treat me better than anywhere else. They coach just as good, if not better, and they love my family. Like they call every week now. Like, how's your mom? How's your little sister doing in soccer? It's just they care for me, and that definitely separated them from
That's
the rest
awesome.
of the schools that recruited me.
So at that point, did did you then go public with what your decision was, or did you still kind of sit on it for a little bit and make your decision on a special day like some kids do?
Yeah, so the first time I went up to Tennessee was the time I made that catch that a lot of people have seen, where I'm jumping over the dude, catch it one hand,
Right, right.
and then scored the touchdown. That was my first visit to Tennessee, and I haven't been up to Tennessee within like 6 years. That was my first time going back in a while, and just as soon as the camp was over, like as soon as we got back in the car to come home, I told my dad, like, this is a school I want to be at, and he was like, okay, like, slow your roll. You're you're a sophomore in high school. You got 2 more years. Let's think about this a little bit more before we make it public.
Okay.
And so it's about a 3.5 hour drive back home, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning when we get home, and I wake my mom up, and I was like, Tennessee is where I want to go, Mom. Like, this is the place. And she tells me the same thing. She's like, hey, slow down. You have 2 more years. Just wait. You can get a lot more choices. And so everybody in my family, they were all telling me, wait, wait to make that decision. It's a big one. And so they didn't really understand what I felt at first. So it was about 2 weeks later. I think it was July or June 31st was the last day we could take visits up to the school to take tours and all that. So June 31st, I go up there for the last time, take my mom and my dad, spend the whole day with the coaches, talk to the head coach, all that, and then we eat ice cream in the stadium in Neyland. It was fun. And then at the end of the day, Coach Hype told me, he said, "So are you ready to make it official?" And I look at him and I was like, "Yes, sir. I'm ready." And then I look at my mom and she was like, "Let's do it." So after that day, I think I ended up making it public right at 7:30. So I told all the reporters. I had slow internet that day actually, so it was more like 7:45 when I posted it. But yeah, that's when I actually committed, and I'll never forget that day.
Yeah, man. So, you know, what's the one thought that that sticks with you from when you made it public and you let the Twitterverse, the world know that you're a Tennessee volunteer, man. What was that like for you? Obviously gaining offers and all that, that's life changing. But to decide that's where you're going to call home, what was that like?
Yeah, so this is a funny Twitter. The only my whole caption was just home, ball for life, like home. That's all. That's the only thing I had to say, and everybody knew it was home. And we actually go to eat at it was a Mexican restaurant like 15 minutes away from the stadium, and I'm in line. It was like a Moe's or something, but it's maybe 20 minutes after I posted this on Twitter,
So you were
and I'm
still in
going through line.
you were still in town when you
Yeah,
posted.
I'm still in town when I
Okay.
post it.
Okay.
I'm going through the line to get my burrito, and the guy that's serving me, he's like, "Hold on, I think I just saw you. You're the kid who just committed." And I was like, what did you just say? Like,
Yeah, I am.
you saw that already? That's crazy. And he asked to get a picture, all that, and so that was the best memory I've had. Just how fast people see like social media is crazy, and then just the fan base from the Vols. Like Tennessee has the best fan base in college football, I believe, and it's just crazy, like the love they show, and the hate they show sometimes when you don't play good. But
Gotta take the
uh,
good with the bad, man. But hey, that makes
yeah,
the
yeah,
day, right?
yes, sir. But that was definitely the one of the most things that I'll remember. Just that guy, like recognizing me within 20 minutes of my commitment. That's just is crazy to me.
That's pretty awesome, man. So look, I know we could continue to share stories because it sounds like you've got a bunch, man. But you know, we'll kind of for time restraints, we'll kind of move on to the next segment, man, and we're gonna learn a little bit about who you are. So we'll stop talking football, right? You know, you can mix in as much Tennessee as you want because I can see the love, but talk to us about who you are outside of the game. Outside of football, off the field, out of the weight room. You know, who are you? What makes you you?
Yeah, so a lot of people just explain me like it doesn't take too much to explain me. They just say I'm a ginger, I'm the middle child, and I'm crazy. Like ever since I was little, like I'd see my older brother, older sister do something, and then as soon as I saw it, I'd be up like wanting to do it next as a little baby, like um, like jumping all over the place, jumping on couches, falling off, riding scooters. Before I even turned 10, I had to get I had stitches 5 different times and both of my eyebrows. Like growing up, I was a daredevil. Anything that anybody.
That's what makes you tougher than anybody on the field, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. But like someone would say, I bet you won't do this, and my response is, say less. Like I'm gonna do it
Let's
right
do
now.
it.
uh, I'd say one of the best things to explain who I am uh, is it definitely starts with who my parents are. My dad and mom both played D2. My mom played college soccer, and my dad played college football in Carson Newman, which is actually in Tennessee.
Yep.
And what they've instilled in me throughout growing up is just that basically the hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard mindset. And
Well said.
that's stuck with me like all throughout my life, really, just because they've taught me anything I work for, I can get because there's nothing you can't get if you work hard enough for.
That's exactly it,
So
right?
that's been the
Example.
mindset,
Living
and that
example. I mean, sleeping on a bus for 2 weeks, man. Zero
yeah
offers,
that's
zero knowledge of who you are, and then you go ball out at 7-on-7, go on tour, and then look at you now, right? You had an option of multiple Power Fives, and here we are having this conversation, about who you are, man, and it's spot on to exactly what you represent. So that's awesome, man. Parents did a great job. But go ahead, man.
yeah. But so the hard work beats talent, sticking with me all throughout my life. One of the best examples that I think was when I took my visit to Texas A&M. I was a safety. I went to all the DB drills, and Tristan, with the we were talking about how he's in that recruiting group as me,
Yeah, yeah.
the same one as me. He's actually at Texas A&M with me. We roomed in the same hotel. That was the one time we stayed in a hotel that night before,
Got a
and
bed, right?
yeah, so we got a good night's sleep, all that. But we're at Texas A&M doing this workout, and I remember thinking, I was like, dang, Tristan has all these cameras, like all these 24/7 reporters, all these guys like taking pictures of him, like, and nobody knows who I am. Like no coach talked to me when I walked in the door. Like I don't know what to do besides work hard all throughout this day.
Right.
And so I'm working hard. I'm watching Tristan doing exactly what he does, and then we go to one-on-ones. Um, I'm watching Julian Humphrey, who is another kid on our tour, which is Florida commit.
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, just working hard, like winning every one-on-one. And then as soon as the camp was done, Coach Fisher, like the Jimbo Fisher, comes up to me and was like, "Hey, I'd like to." He shook my hand real hard and he was like, "I'd like to offer you a scholarship to come to Texas A&M." And M."
Wow.
And I was like,
First interaction.
"Yeah, that was the first time I've ever talked to any coach at Texas A&M." And it
Wow.
was, "I'd like to offer you a scholarship." And I was like, "Does he know who I am or like?"
Is he
Because I've
talking to the
never
right
talked to
dude?
this guy. Yeah. But when he shook my hand, I remember just smiling really big, and he was like, "Come here." And after he shook my hand, he gave me a big hug, and he was like, "I'm happy for you, and I hope to get you back up here soon." So that was one of the biggest things in my life that showed that the hard work does beat talent when talent doesn't work hard, and that came from my parents.
That's awesome, man. So that's That speaks exactly who you are, man. That's
Yes,
awesome.
sir.
I love this story. So let's do this, man. I'm gonna hand you the floor, one last time. Give you an opportunity to show love to those that show you love. Anybody that's been in your support group, your corner, your biggest fans, cheerleaders, whoever it is, man, that's helped you along the way. Return the love, man. Shout them out.
Yeah. So first, I want to shout out Willie Lyles, which was the first the Say Less national coach. He helped me a lot. Glenn Phillips, he was the Grind Factory coach that got me to come to the tryout. My older brother Trey, he plays D2 football. Um, he, I mean, he helped me out so much just because we were always in the backyard playing one on one. He played quarterback and I played receiver, so he's always throwing me the ball. Um, my mom and dad, just because they trusted that they knew what was right, and ultimately they did. And then the DJRS recruiting group, they always keep me encouraged, and the group chats always testing me, always making sure my grades are right, and then always making me feel like family. Um, that's about it. I'd like to thank everyone at my school, all the people who had an influence in my life, all the coaches who trusted me to give me the opportunities they have, and ultimately, I'd like to thank God for giving me the talent and ability to play football.
Definitely, man. Definitely. So a lot of people in your corner, man, helping you along the way. So it's always awesome to give back. That's super cool. So let's do this, man. Let's close this thing out. I'm gonna let you get back to your night doing what you do. Final question: what motivates and what drives you to want to wake up tomorrow and be that much more successful than you were today?
Yeah, so I told you before we started, this one's going to be pretty easy. But so last season, going into going into my junior year, which was supposed to be my big year for basketball, big year for soccer, starting 7-on-7. Day after our first round playoff loss to Prince Ave, I'm driving on the interstate, um, driving my grandma's car. Actually, a trailer hits me. It's raining, probably like I think it's 9:30 at night. Rain coming down. Trailer hits me. I roll 2 times in this convertible.
Oh wow!
Um, on the interstate, car laying sideways, and smoke's coming out of the hood. I was thinking, oh, this is the last thing in my life that I'll ever see, and I just played my last football game 2 nights ago. Um, so coming out of that, I was in the hospital for a couple days. Only had to get a couple stitches, which was a
That's
miracle
remarkable.
because no bones broke, just skin torn. Um, coming out of that, like going a week later, starting basketball, starting soccer season, going into 7-on-7.
So literally a week
Um,
after that accident, you're going bang 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 to the next sport.
oh yeah, we had a basketball game the next day, and I was begging my dad to play in it, but
Wow.
he made me rest the week. And basically, coming off of all that, like all the mental stuff a car crash does to you, like that, like the trauma, the physical pain, seeing the ones who are actually there for you, like the ones who care for you when you are in that hospital bed, was huge. And one thing that stuck with me throughout all this year and the end of last year, and I think that will stick with me throughout my life, is like you don't know when your last football snap will be. You don't know when the last test you could take will be. You don't know when the last time you leave your house could be. So make every time worth it, like because you never know when it will be your last.
That's it, man. Look, I'll take it back old school hip hop, man. Tomorrow's never promised today, right? So
Yes, sir.
that's a big deal, man. I had no idea. So I mean, this is one heck of a story. I'm excited for people to watch the replay and really learn who you are and what you've gone through, and hopefully this motivates other young men in very similar situations that who are thinking, man, I've got no offers, nobody knows who I am, right? And then you step out on the 7-on-7 field and bang, your life changed, right?
Yes,
Your
sir.
whole life literally changed when you stepped on the field to play some 7-on-7. So for anybody out there who is doubting or questioning the 7-on-7 tournaments and what it does, it's remarkable, man. It really does work. This is a living, breathing example for multiple reasons, right? obviously for that, and then what you went through with the car accident, and just everything, man. So I appreciate you taking the time, sharing your story. That's super important, man. Everybody's got a story to share, and I think everybody's story can impact somebody else in a positive way. And I think yours is definitely one of those that's going to inspire somebody to go out there and maybe continue to grind, push a little harder, and make it work. And look, man, it's always hard to get the hat straight when looking in the
Oh
camera.
yeah, I was
I
looking
battle
at
it
the
every
camera
night,
like,
man.
dang.
But nah, man, that is super cool. I'm gonna close this thing out, my man Darius Miner, like I do every single time. Make sure you check out the foundation's website, dm39.org. Like I said, we got the PlayStation 5 raffle, tickets as little as $1. It's going to a
I
great
need that.
cause. Let's raise awareness for student athletes, to raise awareness for heart disease within student athletes so we can continue to save some lives. Look, man, I appreciate it. Let's stay in contact. Let's run this thing back, man, because you got a whole nother year to get
Yes, sir.
even better than you are now, and I can't wait. I'm Rob Bodie. This was Spotlight 39. I'm back tomorrow. We got a huge, huge show tomorrow, so make sure you tap in. Here's Darius Miner, man. I miss you, big homie.